Katana is Microsoft's implementation of an open standard named OWIN, which stands for Open Web Interface for .NET. OWIN was started by a group of open source developers in the community who wanted to define an API for web servers and web frameworks to interact. The idea was to provide a simple specification to make this an easy API because the ultimate goal is really just for web frameworks and web servers to remain decoupled. Someone who writes a framework or component doesn't need to worry if they're running with ASP.NET in IIS or if they're running in someone's custom desktop application that also wants to reply to HTTP messages. Now, at the end of this module, if you're interested in seeing all the details of the OWIN specification, go to owin.org and do some reading. For now, I want to make some of these abstract concepts a little more concrete by building something with OWIN and Katana. But before I do, just remember this. OWIN is a specification. It defines an API for frameworks and servers to cooperate. Katana is Microsoft's implementation of OWIN using Microsoft components. So for example, Katana can implement the OWIN specification and use system.web behind the scenes, and that means an application might rely on system.web, but only indirectly if it's using the OWIN interfaces. So you write a web component for OWIN, you can theoretically run in any environment where OWIN is supported by the server, not just in environments using system.web and IIS, but also in self-hosted environments like a console mode application, or on a server running on Mono, the open source implementation of .NET. So you can run on a Linux system, or in some future web server that is yet to be written. Your components can also work regardless of the underlying framework, which might be ASP.NET MVC or Web API, but it could also be one of the many open source frameworks like Nancy, Fubu MVC, Simple.web, and others. So System.web contains a lot of great features, but it is tied to ASP.NET and IIS, and having so many features isn't so great when it comes to quickly iterating and releasing new features because everything needs to ship at one time. Katana is focused on small components that you can put together to build a custom web application using only the features that the application needs, and those individual components are very modular. They can be developed in an iterative fashion and have a faster release pace. So with that in mind, let's take a first look at Katana and OWIN together.